Soulja Slim, born James Adero Tapp Jr. on September 9, 1977 in New Orleans. He was raised uptown in one of the biggest projects in New Orleans known as the Magnolia. Growing up in the project exposed him to violence, drugs, and fast money at a young age. He dropped out of high school in the 11th grade and would cut hair to make money, but soon began to hustle, becoming more involved in other street activities while battling an addiction himself. New Orleans is known for many things from food to music. Bronx music, a style of hip-hop centered around call and response, chants, and dancehall call-outs, originated in New Orleans in the late 80s, early 90s, and took the city by storm. They would often throw block parties, bringing out much of the neighborhood, helping the movement to progress. It would be at one of these parties where Slim would convince producer KLC to let him rap on the mic. KLC was impressed with what he heard and by the crowd's reaction. He invited Slim to his house to make music. Slim took the opportunity, beginning to work with KLC under his independent label Parkway Pumpin'. KLC, also being a DJ, would spin these records in the club, giving birth to Slim's rap career. In 1994, under his original name Magnolia Slim, his EP Soulja for Life was released through Parkway Pumpin' and Hype Enough Records. It would go on to sell 90,000 units independently. He followed up dropping the EP Dark Side in 1995. Also, his one and only child, Lil Soulja Slim, was born on September 21st that same year. Unfortunately, over the next 3 years, his addiction and street life would take control, pushing the music aside. One night during an alleged robbery, Slim happened to meet Master P outside of a recording studio in New Orleans. This encounter would eventually lead to Slim signing to Master P's No Limit record label. He started going by the name Soulja Slim and dropped his debut album on No Limit called Give It To Him Raw on May 19, 1998. The album debuted at number 13 on the Billboard 200 and sold over 82,000 units in the first week and was eventually certified gold. Unfortunately, Slim wasn't able to capitalize off this success. He was convicted of armed robbery and sentenced to 3 years. After his release, he got right back to the music, dropping his second album with No Limit called The Streets Made Me on July 24, 2001. The album didn't perform as well as the first, and Slim started to have issues with payments from the label. But Slim was his own boss. Because of this, he left No Limit and started his own label, Cutthroat Committee Records, signing other New Orleans artists in the process. He dropped his third studio album on his label called Years Later on December 24, 2002. The album sold 30,000 units independently. Koch Records would reach out to Slim offering him a distribution deal. Slim signed a one-album deal with Koch Records and released his fourth studio album Years Later a few months after on August 26, 2003. He also collaborated with Juvenile on the song Slow Motion for his upcoming album, Juvie the Great. Slim was bringing his label mainstream attention and was destined to be the next big artist out of New Orleans. Sadly, on November 26, 2003, Slim was gunned down in the front yard of the home he had bought for his mother in the Gentilly neighborhood of New Orleans. He was 26 years old. The energy that Slim possessed cannot be duplicated. This was a tragic loss for his family and everyone Slim was helping put on through the label. After his untimely demise, in August of 2004, Slow Motion would climb to the #1 spot on the Billboard 100 and maintained the spot for 2 weeks. We can only imagine what his career would have been like if he was still here. Slim was everything the streets represented in the heart of the Magnolia. Rest in peace, Soulja Slim.